The role of shield maidens in Viking warfare. Imagine this. The year is 972 AD. Cold fog crawls over a Scandinavian battlefield. You grip a round wooden shield, your knuckles white, your breath shallow. Across from you, another shield wall, steel, screams, blood. Now here's the uncomfortable question no one agrees on. Are you a Viking woman? Or is that impossible? Because depending on who you ask, shield maidens are either hardcore warrior women erased by sexist historians or a modern fantasy slapped onto the past by people desperate for representation. So which is it? Tonight we're tearing apart the myth, the evidence, and the lies on both sides to answer one question. Did shield maidens actually fight in Viking warfare? Or are we romanticizing ghosts? Let's start with where the idea even comes from. The term shield maiden doesn't come from archaeology. It comes from Norse sagas, stories written down 200 to 300 years after the Viking Age, mostly by Christian scribes in Iceland. These sagas describe women like Lagertha, who fights in battles, commands warriors, and casually outperforms men like it's nothing. Sounds badass. Also sounds suspicious. Here's the problem. Sagas are not history books. They're closer to medieval Netflix originals, based loosely on real events, heavily dramatized, designed to entertain and moralize. Even medieval writers admitted they exaggerated. One Icelandic author straight up said older stories were mixed with lies and fantasy. So if shield maidens only existed in sagas, we'd dismiss them as myth and move on. But archaeology complicates things. And this is where the debate explodes. In 1878, archaeologists excavated a grave in Birka, Sweden, a major Viking military hub. Inside, a sword, an axe, a spear, a shield, 2 horses, a full set of gaming pieces used for battle tactics. For over 100 years, scholars labeled it elite male warrior. No debate. Then in 2017, DNA testing dropped a bomb. The skeleton was biologically female. Some people immediately screamed, "Proof all Viking warriors were women." Others panicked and backpedaled. Maybe she just owned weapons? Let's be precise. This wasn't a random burial with a knife. This was a high-status military grave, identical to known warrior commanders. Even the gaming pieces mattered. They symbolized strategic leadership, not decoration. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody likes. This grave proves at least one woman held a warrior role. It does not prove shield maidens were common. One data point changes the conversation. It does not rewrite the entire Viking army. Let's deal with the elephant swinging an axe. Premodern warfare was brutal. Shield walls, endurance combat, heavy weapons. Close quarters killing men had greater upper body strength, higher bone density, better recovery from trauma. That matters a lot. So here's the reality most channels dodge. If shield maidens existed, they were rare, elite, and exceptional. They were not the backbone of Viking armies. Think outliers, specialists. Possibly leaders or symbolic figures, not mass infantry. If someone tells you women fought equally alongside men in every battle, they're lying to you. If someone tells you women never fought at all, they're also lying. Reality is inconvenient. Deal with it. Here's where things get interesting. Viking women already had unusual power for the medieval world. They owned land, initiated divorce, controlled households, inherited wealth, ran farms while men raided, and in Norse culture, honor mattered more than gender. If a woman took up arms, swore loyalty, proved competence, she wasn't automatically dismissed. Some scholars argue shield maidens may have emerged during emergencies, in frontier zones, in leadership roles, or as ritualized warriors tied to mythology, not common, but not unthinkable. Also worth noting, Norse religion was full of violent female figures. The Valkyries didn't knit sweaters. They chose who died. That cultural backdrop matters. Let's be honest about why this topic turns toxic. Modern people use history as a proxy war. Some want validation, some want tradition preserved, some want content clicks. So evidence gets cherry-picked. Shield maidens become feminist propaganda or anti-feminist strawmen. Both sides distort the past. History doesn't care about your politics. The honest conclusion is boring, but true. Shield maidens were possible. They were rare. They were exceptional individuals, not a social norm. The Viking world was flexible, pragmatic, and brutal. That's more interesting than fantasy. So next time someone says, shield maidens were everywhere, or they never existed, You know the truth lives in the uncomfortable middle. If you want more myth vs reality breakdowns like this, hit subscribe. If you want a part 2 diving into Valkyries versus real women, Viking gender laws, or why modern media keeps screwing this up, drop it in the comments. History isn't here to comfort you, it's here to challenge you. See you in the next one.